Hey, what is going on, everybody? Boilon here, back for another video on Raid Shadow Legends. In today's video, you might see that I am actually using the account of my pal Bose Gorilla. Now, he has recently started playing Raid Shadow Legends not too long ago. I think it's about less than a month now. And in this video, I want to talk about all of the characters that a new player account can get and why this is the best time to do so. We still have a few more weeks left of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles collab, which means that you're going to get yourself hands on a free Michelangelo. We'll talk about this. And I also want to break down all of these free champions that you can get by using my promo code. You might be seeing the QR code in the top right hand of the screen because there's lots of crazy stuff that comes alongside that. And I want to talk about that first before we get started with the rest of the video. So, the characters that we're going to be talking about in this video, we do have ourselves Karato Fox Hunter. He is the initial character that you're going to get from starting a brand new account. Legendary of the Shadowkin faction here. Great attacker champion. We'll talk a little bit more about him. You can get him immediately by starting the game. You can also get 3 amazing epics. We're going to talk about these one by one as well. Ugo at level 15, Tagore at account level 30, and my favorite, Deacon Armstrong at account level 40. So 3 amazing epics right there. You can also get yourself another legendary character who Bose has on his account as well, to Hanorak. It's a Void legendary, which is super rare. You just got to use the promo code Desert Queen within the first 48 hours of a brand new account. And that's still not all, because you can also get, like I said, Michelangelo, right? So that's a 3rd legendary champion for starting a new account here. You can see on the screen that there is a phase 1 of phase 2 of this chase. The first 7 days will give you a unlock of Michelangelo alongside some great gear and all that stuff. And then as you progress, I believe it's up to day, I want to say it's like day 24 or something like that. It's an extra 10 days on that phase 2. And you get yourself a 5 red star Michelangelo. If you don't know what that is, we'll be talking about that here in today's video as well, because it's really just going to make that character super powerful. This is probably literally the best time to start. Some of the other characters before Michelangelo was Lemonisi was another one in the summer. And then there was Alice the Wanderer, was a pretty good one as well. But so far, Michelangelo has made the biggest impact, I think, on new player accounts. And I think Bose would agree with that. So I want to kind of go through his roster a little bit, kind of show you that, he's using all of these champions from my promo link basically in their main team. So recently we got Michelangelo, first character to level 60 without a doubt. Super powerful attack champion. Look back on my channel. I have talked at length about Michelangelo. Very, very, very solid. To Hanorak, an amazing legendary support champion as well. So you get that through the promo code, of course, Desert Queen, right? I talked about that. We'll talk about it at the end if you missed it. And then we have Deacon Armstrong, probably one of the best support champions that are an epic, honestly. And I'm really glad that I've been able to provide that for you guys who needed a little bit of a boost there. Also, Ugo, another support. You honestly, believe it or not, you could never have too many support champions in Raid Shadow Legends. Like, you just can't. They're so good that they do so much utility. There's the kits just having that widespread, really, really good. We have Tagore over here, who Bose has not leveled up as much, but honestly still a pretty solid champion. I mean, it really just depends as you start playing the game, what kind of characters you end up getting in your roster and what kind of are a little bit better, I suppose. There we have Karato Fox Hunter, again, great attacker for the Shadowkin faction. And hopefully, if you see this before starting your new account, which I hope you do, make sure that you also pick up Kale as your starter newbie champion, because out of all of them, Kale is still the best and worth picking up over the other one. Has a better kit, honestly, than the other newbie starting champion. So I want to go one by one, starting off with the with the legendaries, right? So let's go into the index. We go into the Shadowkin, and I just prefer looking at it from here. So we have Karato Fox Hunter right on the screen here. What does he do? Well, his A1 basic attack, it attacks 3 times, which is pretty good. Each hit has a 20% chance of placing a 25% weaken debuff for 2 turns. So this one's pretty good. Weaken is a debuff that makes them take increased damage. So this can stack with defense down, and this is a good way to get even more damage on a boss. We also have the A2, which does place a stun debuff for 2 turns. So this is guaranteed. This isn't so good against bosses because you can't really stun bosses. But it is good in PvP and also in campaign wave clearing, things like that as well. We have an AoE attack here, which has an 80% chance of placing a block active skills debuff for 2 turns. This is good in PvP. It's also good in just standard campaign, wave clearing, and those kind of things, but not that you can't really do this on bosses. Pretty sure like 98% of the bosses cannot be block active skilled because that would be too powerful. And then his passive damage inflicted by this champion cannot be decreased by enemy passive skills. So basically, anything that kind of reduces damage, that kind of thing, does not work, except for if it's on a boss. So he's more of a PvP champion, I would say, in terms of his skill outlook, which is probably why Bose does not have him at 60 because he does prefer PvE. And I don't believe PvE is really important, which is why we got to talk about the second champion here on this list is going to be obviously Tahanarak, who is just utterly amazing. Everything that she does is stellar. So her A1 has a 30% chance of placing a 30% decreased speed for 2 turns, debuff for 2 turns, up to 50% with books. Books are important, but they're also slow to get for legendaries, so do keep that in mind. And also does some additional healing. This is really good because in a turn-based game, decreased speed is, or a slow debuff, speed debuff, whatever you want, is just really, really important. Her A2 attacks one target and does a decreased attack of 50% and block buffs for 2 turns. If you're a new player, block buffs does exactly what it says. It means that enemies cannot apply buffs to themselves. It also applies a debuff spread. So if these are the only 2 debuffs on the enemy, it's going to then spread it to everyone else. Whether it's a campaign wave or a bot like Spider Boss who has more spiderlings, it's all going to spread out. Really, really powerful. However, if there are more debuffs, it's going to be a bit picky about, the 2 is going to be a little bit random, right? And then this is the best thing here. Desert Fitness. It is a group-wide buff that does increased defense and increased speed for 2 turns. Again, this can be brought down to a 3-turn cooldown. If you remember what I said about being a turn-based game, speed is important. Speed up on your team and slow on the enemy team. So Tahanarak does all of that, and why she is one of the best starting champions in the game, in my opinion. I know some people maybe who are watching it, not a new player, there is some contention between this one and another champion called Tholen Falbeard, who you can get as well. But because Mikey is available, and we're going to talk about him, this is why I'm going for Tahanarak right now as the #1 starting champion for a new account. So make sure that you do this. And also her passive removes a random debuff from all allies. This is like a cleanse. So if you make her pretty fast, then she's making sure that your entire team never has debuffs. Just really, really good. And it can take 2 random debuffs if they're under the continuous heal from this or from another champion as well. So Tahanarak, super, super amazing. Let's talk about Michelangelo, right? You're all going to get this for free, right? I just want to reiterate there. Michelangelo Chase, so free for 7 days, right? If you do this within the next, basically 3 weeks. I think there's 3 weeks left before this goes away. Now, as long as you make a new account and start before then, you will have no problems to do all this. It's just that, if people see this video in about 3 or 4 weeks time and wondering why you're not getting Michelangelo, that is why. But he is just really, really amazing. He has been a game changer for so many accounts, including my own, including my main account. Let's just start with his basic attack. It attacks 2 times, but if it's a critical hit, he gets a 50% increase attack buff on him for 2 turns. And basically, you want to get him as high to 100% crit chance as possible so that this is always on him. His A2, Express Delivery, it has a decreased defense debuff and a stun debuff. And then it spreads all of the debuffs on the enemy with the exception of stun. Doesn't spread stun. And it will ignore 25% of the target's resistance if it was a critical hit. So if there's way more debuffs stacked up on the enemy, you can just spread it to everyone else. It is a really powerful skill. His A3 Shell Cyclone, you're probably going to lead with this and then maybe spread some of these other debuffs. So this has a 50% decreased attack debuff as well, and Leech. And for those who are new, Leech basically allows you to heal yourself by doing damage. So if the enemy has Leech, you attack them, a portion of your damage is going to turn into healing, which is really, really nice. And so he ignores 25% of the enemy's resistance if it's a critical hit, which is why you want to get him crit capped as soon as possible. It also has a taunt buff. So basically, it's going to force enemies to attack him for a little while, which is fine because of his passive. So he has a 15% chance to completely evade an enemy's skill, up to 30% while that taunt is up. And then if he gets hit, if he does still happen to get hit, he gets a shield buff equal to 300% of his attack. So this can scale up quite dramatically. Like I think my character My Michelangelo has like 5 to 6,000 attack, so that converts to like a 15 to 18k shield. It's really, really powerful. So even if he does take a little bit of a damage, he is probably going to shield that back up, and then he's going to heal it back up with the leech skill. This guy is just multifaceted and absolutely amazing. So I really got to talk him up, because this is why it's the best time to start playing this game here, because these are the best champions that you could start with in 2025. Now, there's a few others, and I do want to start off with the Sacred Order, which is where you're going to find Deacon Armstrong, because I did hype this guy up as well, because he is very, very powerful, because we have a speed aura in all battles. This is really important because some have like speed in arena, speed in other game modes. This is speed in all battles. And of the champions that are on this list, he is the only one that does this. He also enables characters a little bit better, because he fills turn meter from his team and decreases the enemy team. Great in PvP, but also great in PvE as well. We do have an AoE attack that does decrease defense debuff for 2 turns, and then also does a leech on his A1. He is very versatile and a really great champion to have. You can see the reviews are very, very positive for Deacon Armstrong as an epic, great starting champion. He is the last one that you're going to get at account level 40, though, when you start off. Going backwards a little bit, you are going to get, actually, I think the first one, let's put it back on the screen. I'm pretty sure it's Ugo at account level 15, right? So I do want to talk about Ugo, because that's a character that I'm using every single day, actually, on my main account as well. So Ugo, I also got a chance to start with Ugo on my account back about almost 9 months ago now, but Ugo has been really great. So we have another leech debuff is really good on the A1, and then we also have this A2 Maelstrom Rack. So again, AoE attack that does decreased defense and block buffs for 2 turns. This is pretty nice. These are a great combo of skills. She also does a little bit of healing. I actually got confused about whether Ugo is indeed a she. I was looking around. I actually didn't notice this until much later. But anyways, she removes heal reduction debuffs from all allies, removes 1 random debuff from all allies, and then does some healing. This is a weird one, but if everyone dies but Ugo, Ugo can bring the entire team back to life. You get this sort of passive here that when she's the last one standing, she gets a block damage and increased speed buff. And then this kind of like, if you have this still up, you can use this and it reses everyone. So that's pretty interesting, although it's very niche. I've had it happen at, sometimes, but it doesn't happen all the time. Still really solid. And then finally, I want to talk about Tagor of the Orc faction. Here is another support champion. Again, you can never have too much support, because you do have this A2 here that does speed buff on all allies for 2 turns, and it's a heal, which is really nice. You got some increased defense on the A1, and you have an AoE res, which is pretty rare. You don't typically need this right at the beginning of the game, but Tagor is a character that I have used and many others have used for a lot of early game content, mid game content, especially in clan boss and things like this as well. He does also reduce the damage that allies take if they're under 50% HP by 10%. So some more mitigation for your team as well. Again, can never have too much support. And finally, I just want to talk about Kale a little bit, who is kind of your starting newbie champion here. Just to round things off, who is in Dark Elves. I forgot. I thought he was a high elf for some reason. And he's down here. And he is the #1 best starter champion to choose from, because he does a lot of poisons. And this is very solid for things like Demon Lord. He is being usurped a little bit here by Mikey. So once you get your hands on Mikey by day 7, he is going to be a better champion in terms of overall damage. So without a doubt. But this has been the mainstay for a long time. Kale is one of the most solid champions, probably one of the best rares in the game, honestly, top 5 rares in the game as far as damage output goes. I still use him occasionally on my main account here, but he does do some good things with poisons, which is really good on Demon Lords. So if you need some progression characters here, you got all of them in this video, right? These are the ones that you're going to be starting with, and why this is the best time to start playing Raid Shadow Legends. So I'm going to reiterate again, right? If you download using the QR code in the top right hand of the screen, or in the link in the description down below, you will get all the amazing champions that we just talked about. So we have ourselves Karato Fox Hunter, right? Just to reiterate again. And then we have the 3 epics who we also talked about in this video. We have Ugo, we have Tagor, and we have Deacon Armstrong, who is probably the better of the 3, but Ugo's also amazing as a starter here. You have Tuhanarak, who is the best, honestly, support legendary champion that you can start off with in Raid Shadow Legends, make sure you use the promo code Desert Queen in the first 48 hours of a brand new account. I do want to show you guys that. If you make a new account, because I'm on the PC here. So you go to the promo codes here. Oh, no, sorry. I got ahead of myself. Desert Queen, right? Type that in to your promo code and you will get that. Now, it has to be within the first 48 hours of a brand new account, so make sure you do that. And then, of course, you will get yourself Michelangelo as well on day 7. And some really amazing gear to go with them, too, by the time you get there. So this is just the best time to start playing Raid Shadow Legends. I wanted to let people know about this, so if you ever thought about picking it up, now is the time to do so. Yeah, that's going to be it for me, I think, here on this video. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. And I'll see you guys all on the next video. I hope this helped. And if you like this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and you'll be greatly helping out the channel. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys on the next one.